two big takeaways. I think one is make the feedback process interesting, and second is don't stop at the event. Try to reach out to probably some of the members who were more engaging in the event. Try to reach out to them one on one on, let's say, LinkedIn or Instagram, whatever channel suits you better.
Feedback is a great way for generating user-generated content. That's something which came up. I am particularly using this phrase because we have earlier described it as marketing and testimonials. But looking at feedback as a form of UGC, which stands for user-generated content, I think it's a very interesting insight.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another session of Roundtables. Yeah, so very quickly, I'll introduce myself. I am the founder and CEO of LikeMinds, and LikeMinds is powering communityhood, which is the community of community builders. Today only we crossed about 800 community builders. These are some of the things that we do as communityhood. We have this checklist where we thank everyone who is involved. We have a post-event review between different people who have been part of attending that specific event, organizing that specific event. We try to ask for feedback. We try to follow up on social media by sharing certain content which we recorded in the event. We create certain highlight reels on Instagram, on LinkedIn. We also publish a blog around the event, whatever we learned. And then, of course, we plan our next event. So these are things that we do today as communityhood. In our pre-event catch-up, there were a lot of other learnings as well that we'll share with you towards the end of the session. Now, this is example of a checklist. So from our existing checklist, which we have a template of. So if you need that template, feel free to reach out to us. We'll be happy to share the whole event checklist template, but this is the post-event actionables. So we maintain an Excel file for these actions, and we also have a timeline on when to do what step. So you can try putting something like that for yourself as well, and that really helps you to not forget all these steps. So these are few examples of how we sort of use the event content and post it on social media, YouTube, and sort of try to use that for different things like SEO, increasing our reach. You can try similar things for your community as well. So of course the base for this is you should definitely record your sessions if possible. Of course Zoom allows that with a very basic plan. So that's the starting point, and today there are so many tools that are coming up to help you record and even do broadcast for the events on a real time. We also publish these sort of smaller reels on Twitter, on YouTube, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, and like you see, all platforms have their own formats, and we use these formats to sort of from the same content which gets discussed in the events. Then we also share a thank you email to everyone who participate. We also share a thank you email to the panelists if the event is around getting someone who is joining us as a panelist or a speaker in some of our series. So you could try some of these things. Then one other thing that is important, and we've not been doing this very aggressively, but we would love to make it as a practice around learning what can you improve in your events. And these are some of the questions that we felt we could ask. So what was your favorite thing about the event? Would you recommend this event to other friends? How likely are you to attend a similar event? So some of these things can be used to count NPS. Now there is a whole debate around it. Do you have these subjective questions in your form? When do you circulate the form? Do you circulate it, after the event over an email? Then, one of the pre-event, sort of volunteer lead, they suggested that in their community they actually share the link of the survey towards the end of the session itself, and they've seen that showing better results for them. So this is a different topic itself, that how to do post event survey in the best way. There were few more learnings around doing one-on-one calls for deeper learnings. So would probably love to pick it up as a separate topic in different Zoom rooms today with all of you. Then one of the things that you should do is you should evaluate what went good with the event, what could be improved. These are some of the parameters that we look at. So things like whether we were able to complete the event in the expected duration, do we need to reduce it, increase it, were the calendar invites being received well. So one of the things that we've sort of realized is we are now able to predict how many members will attend an event based on the RSVPs people do on the event invites that we share on the calendars. So you could also learn some of these things over time once you do these practices. So you should definitely count the number of RSVPs. You should count the number of actual turn up. That helps us in organizing the events better. You should also evaluate the different tools and the technology being used for the event. So for example, we've experimented with, of course we use Zoom, but we've experimented with tools like Slido for taking certain feedback or certain inputs from the attendees. We've used various tools. I will not go deeper a lot into that because that's a separate session in my mind. And then of course, if you are doing marketing to promote your events, you should look at performance of the campaign in terms of what was the cost per sort of attendee, or some of those metrics you should definitely look at. So we have the OGs Vineet and Manohar, who have been with us from the beginning. And Vineet is an independent consultant who helps various brands to build communities. Manohar is community builder. I can see ex Mentza, which is a news for me, Manohar. But Manohar is someone who has been building communities for a while now, and if you want to learn anything around community building, he's also one of the go-to person for me, and could be for you as well. Saurabh again has been with us for last, I think, 4 roundtables now. Saurabh is head of community relations at Learn for Cause. Then we have our newest entry to this roundtable, volunteer leaders. Saksham is one of the community builders at Scalar. He primarily looks at engagement and events at Scalar. So you can find him very often hosting a lot of hackathons for developers, who are the members for Scalar. Then there is Neerav. Neerav is founder of Brandfluencers community. It's a very interesting offline first community, and they have chapters across different cities in India earlier, and from what I hear, they've also launched very recently in Dubai. And also Neerav runs a school of solopreneurs that he has launched recently. So if any of you are a solopreneur and looking for a tribe of your own, Neerav could be your guy to reach out to. And then there is Pratiksha. Pratiksha is founder of 3 communities, primarily focused on parenting on Facebook, and very large communities, about 1.5 lakh members are there. So if you're looking to build a community on, let's say, Facebook, I think Pratiksha could be your go-to person, and I'm sure she has a lot of pointers to share with you on that.
So Nipun, I would like to point out 2 specific insights which came. One was Rachna from Jaipur Moms. Her community is hosted on Facebook. So the online event, what they do, it's more of engaging with the moms and posting the picture. As a thank you note, she puts out the post in an informal way in the group, and that's where the members comment and react, and that's where the engagement comes into place. Now the tone and the structure of the group is pretty much informal information sharing and putting things out. It has worked lovely in her favor because she has been doing this since last 8 years. So this was the insight from a mom community. The second one was Tanya Sahani. She's doing the community for coaches and the ICF international certifications. So their feedback becomes much more important. The members actively give it because it's part of the professional network. But what she highlighted was that sharing the member highlights on the LinkedIn and Twitter, the social media, as well as asking them what went on on the public forum, that essentially encapsulates how the good event was. Plus, Vaibhav mentioned one thing, if I'm not wrong, that the members, they take selfies with their friends and they get the invite. So if the event was good, the member go and tell to their friends, and more guys come in next time. So that becomes even if one person gets 2 more people, that's where the event was successful. So these are 3 different insights which came from the discussions.
When Rishi mentioned that if they are good members, like if you have expected 50 and 50 came, then the event is good. So again, this is very important because members, if we are getting a good audience and give good folks to attend, then this is a very important point.
Got it. Any insight on some of the tools? I think Saksham, you were mentioning. What tools are people using for feedback?
Right. So usually most of them, which we talk, Google Form is a very basic thing. Type Form, which we got to know, and these were the 2 which were discussed during this session. Got
it. Thank you so much, guys, for sharing the insights.
Yeah.
Would love to then now invite the other table.
Today we had a really fascinating discussion on this roundtable. So we discussed a lot about how different feedbacks can actually improve engagement within the community. And then we have also like someone from the roundtable just put on the idea of marketing and how it the general feedbacks can be used in the marketing, and the culture of so like community culture can be improved in the way by maybe posting it in different social media handles. Apart from that, even in like Manohar even said about critical thinking and how it is important for making better and more good events in the future. Like if we do a lot of critical thinking in whatever went wrong in the present events. So that is something which we have talked. And again, one thing which I have added in that roundtable is more about why not to embed reward into the feedback, right? So like what we do in our organization is like we provide some kind of a discount to people who do give us feedback, like maybe 20% discount in the next set of events which we are having. Like which this has actually helped us and we have able to maintain 65% of customers again joining in the next session. So the ratio is relatively high for us, and I think that is something which can be helpful for others as well. Apart from that, we have talked on timings of when to maybe post a feedback, whether it be during the event or after the event. So something which have came up is that during the event is something which is very beneficial because people do care about giving feedbacks during the event, and especially if the event is a paid one. And after events, the proportion gets greatly reduced. Apart from that, we have also talked about anonymous, the using anonymous section in giving feedbacks, so that personal identities are not are not highlighted. And concluding this, we have also talked about in using polling as a effective tool for giving getting feedbacks and even utilizing those data. So that's what we have discussed in today's particular roundtable.
Manohar, anything you would like to add? Yeah.
So I think Saurabh covered the key points very well. Just a couple of other minor points that came in, but I think they also have some value. One is that I think majority of people, the first thing that everybody shared was that we reflect after the event and we try to ask ourselves what went wrong. That's the common response people gave. But we also discussed that how celebration is important. So instead of just beginning with critical feedback or critical thinking, it's important that you celebrate first whatever efforts you have taken, because that also increases the openness for receiving constructive feedback. So I think people need to be more active about celebrating smaller things when they are doing event. Feedback is a great way for generating user-generated content. That's something which came up. I am particularly using this phrase because we have earlier described it as marketing and testimonials, but looking at feedback as a form of UGC, which stands for user-generated content, I think it's a very interesting insight. Similarly, repurposing content, writing a blog, identifying what medium and what kind of format suits the knowledge that you're generating in the event, I think can take your event a long way. If you try to force fit every event, it may not work, but to identify what works best. Not to stop connecting with attendees is a very important point that came up. You shouldn't stop connecting. There might be hesitations, there might be concerns if you should bother them with feedback or not. They will find communication intrusive and etc. But the other perspective is asking for feedback is giving an opportunity to participate. So if you present it in the right way, package it in the right way, take consent. Taking consent for feedback is very important. Ratnakar shared a very important incident where if you're in a live event and if you just sort of hover around people for feedback, that's not the way to go about it. But you try to onboard them. I think how do you onboard people for capturing feedback is a very crucial thing, whether you do virtually or offline. How to make the feedback process interesting, right? I remember there was a startup some years back that said, if you're coming for an event, they used to place a standee near the smoker zone. So the cigarette butt, they had two compartments. So if you like the event, you drop the cigarette butt in the yes compartment, and if you didn't like the event, you drop it in the other compartment. So you can make it more interactive. You can gamify the experiences. But right now, I think most of us were speaking mostly from a virtual event point of view. But looking at the process, looking at what is your strategy rather than just tactics. I think a lot of tactics came up today. And everybody has that familiarity of polling working better, anonymous having its place. But looking at the larger strategy, if rewards is a strategy for you, then recognition is a form of reward also. It's not only tangible rewards which work, but if you recognize people in various ways, not only posting on social media, but if you're the moderator or a key person in the team, if you DM the person after the event and or just have a conversation with them after the event, that assures them, that gives them an assurance that this is a place for them to be heard and keep coming back again. So how to make it more personal and more impactful is a constant inquiry. And the group really came up with a variety of tactics to support this.
Two big takeaways, I think. One is make the feedback process interesting. And second is don't stop at the event. Try to, reach out to probably some of the members who were more engaging in the event. Try to reach out to them one-on-one on, let's say, LinkedIn or Instagram, whatever channel suits you better. And, have conversation with them. This is a great opportunity to build a one-on-one relationship with your members. So do use that as a way to reach out. In fact, today with the feedback form, what we've also done is once you fill the form, on the thank you screen, you'll see a Calendly link with our community team. So we would love to speak to you if you have sort of given enough time to give us feedback. So yeah, I think some of these things also you can do. Thank you so much, guys. It was lovely having you all, and like every time, these events cannot happen without you. So I cannot thank you enough. Do come in our next roundtable. Generally, we do roundtables every alternate week, but we'll keep you posted in the community as well as over emails. So I hope to see you soon again. We also have few more events in Community Hood. Do check them out, and I'll see you soon again.